Okay, so it's Father's Day, and my wife, Baby Doll, got me a brisket slicer from Shun, a 12-inch brisket slicer. So I said, it'd be great to try it out on Father's Day, which is tomorrow, on a USDA Prime brisket. So that's a 15-pound brisket. I'm fixing to trim it up. I've watched many videos. I've done it a couple of times, but every time I do it, I learn a little bit. So I've watched some videos tonight. I'm just going to try and trim it down to where I think it'll make a very good brisket. Now, I'm probably going to put this on my Hanging Out with Jelly channel, but I'm not positive. I may put it on my main channel. So either way, go look at my other channel. You can find it. It's easy. I'm John Sanders, also known as Jelly 007, and Hanging Out with Jelly is the other channel. But we're about to cut this out and get it trimmed up, cut down a little bit and get some of that fat off, get the green egg going with some Fogo and maybe some Jealous Devil. We're gonna make this happen. Happy Father's Day. Let's do this. Okay, here is what we're working with. It came from Sam's Club, and man, they have some killer prices on USDA Prime sometimes. In fact, the last brisket I did came from Sam's. I don't remember what it cost, but look at this, $2.98. That's a $43.78, almost 15-pound prime brisket. That is unheard of. So I think it's a really good deal. We're gonna find out how good it does. Here's the knife my wife bought me for Father's Day, and you can see it's actually a brisket slicer. So that's what inspired this video, and I have done others. And like I said, I don't know which channel. I'm probably going to put this on the Hanging Out with Jelly. Let's see, we're going to use the meter, and this is a really neat device. And I'm going to say right quick too, nobody's paying me. I'm not sponsored, and I'm not affiliated with anyone in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I pay for everything you see here out of my pocket, including this meter. It's a really neat device, and here's what it looks like. It looks like this. This one came from right here, and I have 4 probes in this particular one. The black end reads the ambient or the deck, because it hangs out of whatever you're cooking. So you got it right there. It's reading the internal meat right there. It's reading the deck or the ambient temperature right here, and it'll all be displayed on the app. Now, I may use 2 or 3 of these. I'll set up alarms, because this is about a 12-hour cook. I'm cooking it for tomorrow. I'll put it on tonight, and if it goes above somewhere it doesn't need to, it will alarm me on my tablet or my phone and wake me up. These are my other Shuns. I love Shun. Again, nobody's paid me. But like I said, I've almost got a whole block of them now. And I'm going to trim the fat and all and get this one trimmed out with these. Here's something, well, let me say this. Jacobsen sea salt. I love the stuff. I use their flake and a lot of their products, and that's what I'm using tonight. It is a kosher sea salt. It's fairly coarse. And here's the only thing that kind of required a little bit of studying tonight, other than watching a couple of videos again. Although I've trimmed brisket before, I watched some more because I just feel more comfortable. It's a little tricky. So, Aaron Franklin, he uses a 16 mesh pepper, and all he puts on his is this right here, salt and pepper, and that is the Texas way from what I understand. Well, I've used these 2 grinders right here. These are OXO, and it has an adjustment on the bottom. Whoops! It has an adjustment on the bottom where you can adjust the grind, the coarseness. And I went all the way from right here, which I don't know. I looked at online. I looked at what I thought was 18 today, so that's way up there. I'm looking for 16. I thought this was still a little bit heavy, but I mean, it's as simple as, and like I said, I've got 2, but it's as simple as turning that knob and finding what you think is right. And what I think is right is this right here. That's what I'm using right there. So that, to me, I'm calling that a 16 mesh, and the 16 mesh is what they call it, a 16 mesh grind, and that's what I'm going to use. But the neat part, what I'm getting at, the neat part is you can, test around a little bit and find what you want. And I'm just telling you that where you'll know. Again, it's made by OXO. I love their products. Again, nobody paying me. All right, so I'm about to get this opened up. We're going to get it out here, and I'm going to trim it down to the best method I can, as similar to Aaron Franklin's as I can get. And I'll be back. All right, there it is. There's my prime label on the cryovac. And here's what I'm doing, 1-to-1 ratio of the what I'm calling 16 mesh pepper and my kosher sea salt from Jacobson. And we're fixing to get this opened up and trimmed out. Okay, so I want to tell you right quick what happens a lot of times with my poor time management. It's 1 o'clock. It's 5 after 1. I was supposed to have had it on like an hour and a half ago. So I gave up on trying to do step-by-step detail on the video and the trimming the brisket. There's plenty of videos on YouTube to see how to trim one. One thing there's a couple of things I do think this video will provide. One is the way you find what grind pepper you want. And I'm telling you, this OXO will do it. You can get whatever grind you want with this. It's ceramic, I believe, but again, it works well. The next thing is this right here, and I think this is important. And I'm using the meter, and as I said, the black part reads the ambient or the deck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch right here, and my lowest one, whichever it is, I'm going to get to 250 before I go to bed. And I got other stuff to do in the morning, so I'm going to be pushing it, but I'm looking for 250 right here. And then I'm going to try and remember to show you at some point what 250 is on the deck versus what, in other words, it'll be 250 on the deck, and I'm going to show you what the round dial on the green egg shows. And if you think about it, the green eggs thermometer is way higher than that brisket. And you want to know what it is at the brisket. Even Aaron Franklin, I watched a video where he had a offset smoker. He drilled a hole way down in the lid. It had a thermometer on it too, but he drilled a new hole, put a device or put a thermometer at the level of the brisket. And that's pretty much what I got right here. So we're going to do that. The next thing I'll say about the meter is I'm using all 4 of them, you can see. And you see all these different numbers I have on internal. Well, that's because it's really hard to hit in the exact perfect spot on any meat you're cooking. A steak, even a Boston butt. I mean, you can put 4 in and get 4 different numbers just like that, because you go a little high or a little low, you'll get high temperatures or whatever. So what I'm doing is I'm going to pick the lowest number before I go to bed, which will be, right now it'll be this one. And I'm going to set that cook up. That's what I'm going to set up to alarm me and wake me up when it gets to, say, 203 degrees, which is my target temp. So I'm using the lowest temp, and I do this with a lot of things when I'm using this device. I'll use more than one probe and use my lowest temp. And that way like I said, I got 4, you might as well use them. So anyhow, it's almost 10 after 1. So in a little while, when this settles out, we're going to do a couple other things, but otherwise, I'll be back. All right there it is, and there's how it turned out. I'm not putting on a microphone. It's just right quick. I want to tell you, long story. I don't know if I'm going to try and explain it or not, but there is the prime brisket from last night. There's the story. The green egg went out. I'm kind of blaming it on Jealous Devil charcoal because it was so hot. I couldn't regulate the temperature, and I had to close the green egg down so bad. And when I got in the bed, it went off. I don't know, looks like about an hour after I went to bed, maybe. But anyhow, I had it choked down, so that's probably what it was. But we're about to see, and they're going to let me know what I did. I pulled it off at 3 or 4 in the morning and put it in the oven at 250, and we're about to see just if I should have went ahead and thrown it out in the yard. But we'll know in a minute. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Happy Father's Day.
Big E. Oh, wait a minute. Look what Big E brought. Fresh out of the garden, right there. I mean, amazing. It really is. All right, I'll holler at y'all in a minute. And since I'm videoing Father's Day lunch, There's what baby doll did. She cooked that in the oven using my daughter-in-law Anna's recipe. 2 salmon fillets with some Lawry's. It looks and smells wonderful. That's kind of a backup if we can't eat the brisket. Copper's even here. He's ready. All right, there it is right there. The knife did excellent.
What were you saying?
And here's what the brisket looks like. So it didn't hurt it. It got plenty of smoke and got some pretty good bark before I had to pull it off. But we're about to, in fact, I'm going to do a pull test on it. I cut this one, I think, right. But that, whoops, you couldn't see the camera. It's hot. It's got a, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. That's excellent. Anyhow, that worked. We're fixing to dig into this other stuff. Or actually, we already are. But now you know. I'm going to try and do a better test with the Jealous Devil to see if I can control it at 250. But that's to be seen. But when I know, I will tell you.